Hoeveel kilo glipt haar, stang. Vies. 2 handen bij de lies. Die spot vind ik sowieso, want ik ben de G. Ik heb geen gevoelens, dus baby doe dit verliefd. Draai dan maar. Draai dan maar. Druk het voor een baas, bitch. Druk het voor een baas, bitch. Draai dan maar.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. We are so excited to be here with you all today. And today we have another exciting live panel in store for you from none other than Black Sewing Network. And today, what are we talking? We are talking all things Frocktails fashion. Okay, so today I am so happy, blessed, and fortunate to have an amazing panelist. Frocktail, I call them the bells and the bow of the ball. Okay, they recently are just coming off of their appearance at Atlanta Frocktails. So we're going to talk about sort of their process, their sort of own style and fashion sense, how they incorporate that when they are developing their Frocktails look, how much time they're giving themselves to create these amazing looks. And we have visuals. We have visuals that we are going to pop up on the screen. But without further ado, I would like to bring to you and introduce Julian. Julian creates Shimere So Creative, as well as Shishi, aka Sharista of SD Cosplay. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Thank you for having us.
So exciting. So everybody in the audience, please make sure you share it. Hi, Auntie Tata. Hi, Karen. Hi, Renee. Hi, Kay. Hi, everybody. Hey, Monica. So you guys, first of all, I am still in awe with all of your amazing looks from last week? You guys looked phenomenal. So thank you for sharing your gifts with us. So first and foremost, introduce yourself to anybody, even though everybody should know who you all are. But can you guys introduce yourselves? Tell us your origin story for sewing, how long you've been sewing, who taught you, all the good things. Julian, we will start with you.
Okay. I'm Julian of Julian Creates. I have been sewing since 2016. I am a pattern designer with Nomi. I am a ambassador with Bernina, as well as one of their experts for the launch of the L860 machine. I teach, I help people, different things like that. You can find me on all platforms as Julian Creates. I learned through books and YouTube, but came from a family of sewers. So my mom sews, my grandparents both sewed, my father sews, uncles, like people sewed, they ain't teach me, but they sew.
It's hereditary. It's hereditary. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today, Julian. Yes, Julian, can you talk a little bit about you being a sewing machine guru, as we like? You're our resident sewing machine expert. Can you give us just touch on that really briefly and talk about your experience with that and how you fell in love with that as well?
Sure. So when I started sewing, I bought a machine from a big box store, just a regular, and hated it.
Okay.
Hated it. Like literally, I think I sewed one thing on it and then it never worked again right. Like I could never get a good stitch on it. It wasn't until I bought my own machine, which was a vintage machine, that I fell in love with sewing. I'm glad I didn't give up. So once I did that, I started collecting machines just kind of as long as I started to learn. So I'm up to around 64, maybe.
We love to see it.
So being able to do that, I've been able to learn machines, been able to help people find machines, been able to just kind of understand their personalities, their quirks, features, all that good stuff, and help people through the process. And sometimes people see machines and they get scared because they're scared their fingers going to run through it. So I think being able to have a better understanding of all different types of machines, I'm able to help people demystify that fear.
And that you do. Thank you so much, Julian. And welcome everybody that is joining. Hi, Carol, Diddleform, Carrie, Tamika, Cynthia, Cindy, Tony. Thank you everybody that is just joining. And now we will have Shimere. Shimere, can you introduce yourself and tell everyone your origin sewing story?
Sure. Hi, I'm Shimere of Shimere So Creative, or sometimes it's my name spelled backwards and phonetically. It doesn't make sense, so I'm not even going to try. But I've been sewing since I was 11, which was about 26 years ago. I started off sewing like pillows and table runners, basically rectangles. My mom taught me how to sew. She was always sewing in my youth. And so I just wanted to learn naturally because she was always doing it. I didn't start sewing garments until I was 22, so right out of college.
Yeah.
And I've always been to fashion. Like I was that kid in school who got made fun of because I was wearing something that I thought was lit, and everybody else was like,
Yeah.
"Yo, these are not the new J's. What are those?" I'm like, "Hey,
Yeah.
these are my mama closet. Like this is fashion." So I was that kid. So I've always been the one to like, I guess, rock till the beat of my own drum. And so I didn't have access to it in a small town like Chattanooga. The closest big city was Atlanta. And even coming to Atlanta, unless you had big bucks, like fashion back then, like high fashion didn't trickle down to like accessible fashion until about 2 or 3 years later. We didn't have like the global e-commerce that we have now,
Yeah.
15, 20 years ago. So my like gateway, I guess, to high fashion was to make it myself. And so that's what got me into sewing. And my specialty is taking like luxury looks and making them for less.
We love it. We love to see it. And that you do is very impressive what you do. And I'm always like astounded with your looks. And we'll talk about your personal style just in a second, because I think that will definitely lend itself to this conversation. But Shishi, the belle of the ball, the belle of Atlanta Frocktails.
Yes, baby.
Introduce yourself to the people.
So excuse me if my mic or whatever it sounds a little off. But my name is Sharisa. Y'all know me well as Shishi. I've been sewing for 28 years. Nobody's ever taught me. I am self-taught. So I got into sewing off of like, because I used to read a lot of encyclopedias, and I had this thing where I saw this geisha up in there. So I fell in love with like Asian style clothing. So that made me just start going because and their clothing was like very bright colors and stuff like that. And I just liked how it looked. So I end up just falling in love with that. But I didn't sew for myself until around 2014, maybe. I was mainly sewing for my kids.
Okay.
Other than that, yeah, I kind of like to do costume.
Okay.
I sew regular clothing, but I do a lot of costuming. And y'all know me for cosplay. Well, y'all met me doing cosplay, and then y'all saw me do the regular stuff. And now I'm about to get back into the cosplay.
Okay. Yeah. So, while I have you here, let's just go right into the next question. And can you kind of describe for people what your personal style is and where you pull inspiration from? Because you do have, first of all, you are very fashionable, whether or not you're doing cosplay or whether you're doing ready to wear. Where do you, how would you describe in, I guess, a few sentences, what your personal style is?
Believe it or not, okay, so y'all know how like fashion designers are. They dress people to the gods, but they themselves look like bums.
Okay.
That's me. That is me. And the only time you will ever see me like dressed to the gods is if I am in costume.
Yeah.
My everyday normal dress is comfy casual, lounge sets, kimonos, jumpsuits, dresses, sandals.
Yeah.
Just normal. If you see me out on the street, you wouldn't even know it was me unless you see the blonde hair or whatever. Then you will know. But other than that, you will not know that it's me because I don't dress normally how I would dress going to like my cons or going to like Frocktails or something like that. Give me a good theme and you'll get some good clothes out of me.
Shishi, you do not look like a bum. You look, it gives chic, but it's just loungy with chic. So don't listen to her when she says that. Don't believe her for 1 second. Okay, Shimere, so Shimere, on the other hand, we've noticed that you like a lot of very structured garments. You like cutouts. Can you describe a little bit about your style and sort of like what inspires you on a day-to-day basis versus when you're kind of going out?
Sure. So my personal style, I feel like I have two. So I feel like I have like a very structured style, like you described, and I call that city chic. I used to live in big cities, and we like our blazers, and we like to just look very put together wherever we go. And so I have that aspect that I like to look very tailored and put together.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the summertime, I like to be a little bit more boho chic. So I like to wear like flowy things, but I still like it elevated. Still elevated, but boho chic, so flowy, ruffles and things like that. So I would say both of those. And I feel
Okay.
like they play to both sides of my personality. I'm a Capricorn, I'm structured, I'm about my money, and I work in corporate. But then I'm also like a flower child, and I like slide down poles occasionally. So,
Yeah,
just a little bit of everything.
and we love to see it. We love to see it. And Julian, our vintage guru. So you love vintage machines and you love vintage fashion. How does that impact your sort of personal style versus even when you're going out? How do you insert your love of vintage, or is it all vintage for you? What really inspires you in your personal style?
So I'm pretty much I like classic menswear, just with bold prints and patterns and color. And I like especially like mid-century menswear. I think that you find more interesting details there.
Yeah.
So hence how the vintage kind of comes into play. I work in corporate as well, so I work in philanthropy. So you know, you got to dress up, you got to look the part. So being able to at least fit into that mold, but then infuse myself through the color and style and prints and stuff like that. That's a conversation starter that really helps to break down barriers, because there's usually a power dynamic imbalance when you work in philanthropy. I got money that I have to get to people. So it helps to really bridge conversations and community. So it does help me in my work, and it just helps to really show that there's a person behind that you're talking to. So.
Absolutely. And so, yes, you have to dress the part depending on like where you are, whether you're in a corporate meeting or if you're out in the field, meeting with kids, meeting with students, meeting with, people of the community. You alter your style for every situation, right? Okay. So the big question is though, we are eventually going to get to the Frocktails, but we are just laying the foundation to explain or to convey and show what each panelist with their personal style is. Do you make everything that you all wear? Like, what percentage of your closet is me made versus store bought? Julian, we'll start. I'm sorry, y'all. So I'm looking here, but you know what I'm saying. Julian, we'll go Julian, then we go to Shimere, and then we'll go to I think Shishi. Yep.
So it was a lot more. It was a lot more of my closet. Right now, nothing fits. So I'm having to remake a lot of stuff in my closet, but most of like my shirts, most of like I will buy a pair of pants from a discount store and then just rock a shirt that I've made. But I've also been doing more of the pants and stuff like that as well. But probably right now it's probably a good 35-40% of stuff I've made in my closet.
Okay. 35-40%. Okay. That's about, I think that's about right for me. Well, not right, but that's about the percentage for me. Shimere,
it'll be more. We just ain't there yet.
Oh, you said we're not there. Listen, because we're snatched. Okay, we got snatched. And so how much time? Okay, so Julian has transformed. For those that don't know, Julian has transformed himself. Okay, he was fabulous before. He's going to be fabulous again and continue to be fabulous. But how much time are you giving yourself to rebuild your me-made wardrobe?
I mean, there's really no time limit because I don't know where the stop is. Like literally, like sometimes my size can change within less than a month.
Oh, okay.
So I started at like a size 48 chest. So that's like suit sizing. I'm now at 38. This is within less than a year. So this was since July that I kind of started this journey. I'm down like almost 80 pounds. So, we just rolling with it and trying to be flexible in what we make.
I know that's right. I will be making all the knits, okay? Knits and caftans that grow and shrink with me. Okay. Shimere, what about you? What percentage of your closet is me made versus things that you buy out of store?
Probably like 5%. I like to shop, so I have a lot of clothes, a lot of shoes, a lot of bags. So yeah, probably just a very small percentage, I would say.
Is your goal to grow your me-made wardrobe, or do you want to continue to are you fine with that 95-5 split?
I'm fine with the 95-5 split. I mean, I am growing it because this year I'm doing a no-buy challenge, so I'm not buying any new clothes for the year. So I am having to make things. So if I want to go out for an event and have a new outfit, I have to like plan for it and make it versus just being able to order something online real quick. So
okay. All right, so no buy. So she's gonna sew more because she's trying not to buy. Listen, Sin said, "I'm with you, Shimere. I want to shop." I know that's right. Y'all got money. Y'all got money.
Fun.
Okay,
I love it.
I don't like shopping in stores, but that's another time. You know, we should set up a separate conversation, a separate panel for that. All right, Shishi. Somebody actually left you a comment. Monica said, "I am so interested in cosplay and love seeing your design, Shishi." So, Shishi, what percentage of your closet is me made versus things that you buy out of store?
So as of right now, the only thing I have in there that is store bought are pants, like blue jeans, denim pants.
Mm-hmm.
I do not wear those because I make my own, but I usually like to wear jumpsuits and dresses more than I like to wear pants. So out of the clothes that I wear, I would say 95% of my wardrobe is me made,
Okay.
except for underwears and shoes.
Okay.
Those are the only things I don't make yet.
She said, "Yeah." Okay. She
Yet
said,
coming.
So listen, so as you guys can see, we have everything across the full spectrum. You got Shishi with 95% me made, you have Shimere with 5% me made, and Julian is right there in the middle. Me and Julian are probably on par with each other. Maybe it's a Sagittarius thing. But yeah, so you guys, you know, you run the gamut with all of us, okay? Now let's get to the subject at hand. Listen, everybody's here to talk about Frocktails. Everybody is here to talk about Frocktails. So let's get into it. Now, how much, so how do you decide, number one, where do you find your inspiration for Frocktails, whether or not it's theme related or not? Because all Frocktails, I think there's a misconception that all Frocktails have a theme. They do not. But how is your approach for coming up with your outfit? And I think Shimere and Shishi have only been to theme. I think I think I'm the only one that's been to a non-themed event. But how do you guys start your process for coming up with inspiration for Frocktails? We will start with, let's start with Shishi. You've been to two. You went to one was a Met Gala theme. The other was a garden theme. Go ahead.
Yeah, the Secret Garden one. So I love a good theme, and I would prefer if they have a theme. But if they did not have a theme, I will go with what's most comfortable on me. And like I said, most of the time it's a jumpsuit or a dress. So I will start there, and then I will start choosing patterns, and then I will do research on Google to see how different jumpsuits look, so I can still put my little design element into it instead of just making a basic jumpsuit or a basic dress. So I will always tend to make something that I know will look good on myself, and then I will plan around that. So, but with the theme stuff, it's basically the same thing. Give me a good theme, so that's one area that I start off at, and then I go off of research on Google. So I will do a lot of research, and I will look at different design elements that I like, and I will try to find ways to combine all of those design elements.
So I want to
that I
bring
like.
up
So
your Frocktails look from this year, okay? I'm not going to say that I was responsible for it, but I'm going to bring it up, and I want you to talk about step by step how you found the inspiration, where you started. So we're going to bring it up on the screen for those that are here. This is what Shishi wore to this year's Atlanta Frocktails, okay? She looks gorgeous. She looks stunning. Drop some flowers in the chat. Show her some love. So Shishi, talk about how you started with creating this look.
all right, so as soon as they dropped the theme saying that it was Secret Garden, I was pondering doing something silky related, something ethereal, flowy, and long. But I was like, no, we in Georgia. It's going to be hot because it's going to be in May. I said, nope, we're going with something short and something that's not going to have a lot of like layers on me. And then Lynn came out with her pattern, and that's where all of this came about. Was Lynn's pattern. So I will say my inspiration came from Lynn. It's not necessarily something that I did. So I let the pattern speak to me. I didn't start off knowing what I wanted to make. All I know is I wanted it to be something flower-esque. Like I wanted it to look like a flower without it actually being a flower, because I didn't want to go too costumey with it. So yeah, and then Lynn dropped her pattern, and it was a done deal. It was a done deal.
So I should have brought a picture of Lynn's pattern with me, but of course I don't have that. I'm not prepared. But so Lynn's pattern is actually like a shirt, and so you did some extra stuff to it. So how'd you come up with the idea for the skirt? How'd you come up with the idea for the corset look be like? Is that are you channeling that from somewhere else?
So the skirt was supposed to be reminiscent of like flower or flower petals without it actually being. So I just decided to go with the ruffle, and I tried to make the ruffles not like super uniformed, and they are double folded out of a organza material. So the whole skirt is made out of satin and organza, and the shirt is actually if I can get it in the camera right.
Okay.
So the shirt is actually this pattern here, which is 2069 by Nomi. This is Lynn's pattern. And as you can see, that shirt does not look like that, what I have on. So I end up keeping the yoke pieces off, the sleeves off, and I had to redesign the front bust area. The back is pretty much how she had it in the pattern. So I didn't really do a lot of changing to the back except for putting the grommets on and putting that front bust piece on instead of like buttons or zippers. But yeah, the most I had to do was just redesigning that top part of that. But yeah.
Gorgeous. So we're gonna come back to you because I also have your Met Gala look, but I'm going to pivot to Julian. I want you to talk to us about your process for, first of all, let me just say this. Julian gave us outfit changes, okay? Don't play with Julian, okay? Don't play with Julian because he gave us outfit changes, okay? So again, we are dealing with the same theme, and I want Julian to talk about what your inspiration was, and we can tell me when to pivot to the next piece that you made. But what made you want to make this gorgeous, and it looks Asian inspired. I could be wrong. But talk to us through what you used. Did you use a pattern? Did you hack anything? Talk us through the process of how you started with the inspiration, how long you gave yourself to make this, as well as like sort of like the process leading up to the event.
Okay, so this was not the original plan at all. The original plan was actually to make a corseted vest, for like a men's corset vest and pants. The thing is that I felt like I was doing a lot of that. I wore a vest and pants for Easter, and then I had a photo shoot in a vest and pants look. So I was like, I need to change it up. So literally was going through Etsy and found a pattern. This pattern is from Etsy. It was all of $3. It is from an Indian designer on Etsy that does a lot of like kurtas and different things like that, and like Indo-Western wear. So I saw this with the swag of the skirt, stuff like that. I was like, that is really interesting. And was about to buy it and realized I had already bought it. Had bought it a year ago and forgot. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, then there you go. The fabric itself came from Amazon. So this basically is a trick I use. I used it last year for my Beyonce look. I went to Amazon, looked up African brocade.
Okay.
5 yards. And so that fabric was $30 for 5 yards on Amazon. And once I got that and it came together, I was really just thinking like an orchid, like an exotic orchid. I was really thinking of some of the different blue orchids that I see, and went with that. And it was casual, it was comfortable, and I enjoyed it. It was different, and I really wanted it to be different. So I was really excited about the creation of that. It was new for me as well to even wear something like that, and I really enjoyed it. The other look, which was lace.
Hold on, I'm not done. Okay, we're not done here. We're not done. Let's talk about this a little bit more. I love the way it's like blooming, literally blooming at the bottom. And I love using this. So what did you do differently, or did you do anything new during this process that you were excited about, that was something different from you? Can you describe how you achieved the bloom at the bottom?
So of course this is a brocade, so it is a structured fabric. I did add horsehair to the front, so it's basically like a little bit more than a quarter circle skirt, but probably, yeah, a little bit more than a quarter circle skirt, making that front. So that is all trimmed in horsehair. And then we use horsehair, and then I use a silver lame bias binding to trim. All the hem is done in that silver lame. So if it flowed or if it moved, anything like that, you'll get flashes of silver. But overall, like the base of this top was made within maybe 2 hours.
What?
And then Like literally, people. I made this on live. The mock-ups for this,
Okay.
and my mock-ups were taking about 15 minutes each
Okay.
to
Wow.
make.
Listen, don't
So
listen. Don't get Julian does this for professionally. So don't be trying to hear that time like, oh, I need 15 minutes. No, y'all
no,
need more
no,
time.
no, no.
So from beginning to
Yes.
end, tell people realistically how long you were working
So
on this outfit.
for the top piece, I mean, I worked on that probably over a few weeks. Like I would take hours here and there, but also I was at the same time I was working on this. I was doing 7 other projects, I think,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
So it took probably about a good 2 to 3 weeks
Okay.
putting the whole thing together. I made another pair of pants that no, I wasn't going to do those. So I wore these. The pants and this top are both my Nomi patterns. So they are my first Nomi pattern, Nomi 2009.
Okay.
I have bought some lace, and I was like, once I saw Shishi's look, and she was talking about making another one, I was like, oh, we doing that. So I made this.
Okay.
It's her fault.
That is currently available in stores and on sale right now. So
Is.
make sure you guys pick up ME 2009. I've made it. I love it. It is it's menswear, but it looks great. I made it as a dress. So I really love this look. So yeah, you said that's one thing you mentioned. You said you had to pivot. Why did you have to pivot?
So the other pants that I were using, it was a satin jacquard, and it just didn't have any stretch. The pattern that I also used was a pattern from Etsy that I had not tried before, and it needed a little stretch if I was going to make it work. As my body has changed, my body dimensions have changed. So where my waist is one size, my thighs are another, and them thighs were trying to scream on out. So. We was going to go for a pattern that we knew, so we found this fabric. The fabric is also from Joann's. The white is a summer ponte, so it's like a ponte de Roma with a good rayon content, so it breathed, which I knew was going to be important for Atlanta. And we just threw these together in like a straight sizing, because I know this pattern works. I know how the sizing works, and I knew that especially under the other garment, it was going to look really nice and just kind of provide a good backdrop. The shirt, I had bought this lace from Fabric Mart, and it was just sitting there, and I literally was not planning to use it. I was going to use I have a blue lace that I was like, okay, I can make another top with the blue lace, and it would match the silver of the pants. It was going to be together. But when I pivoted to this white ponte, I decided to make this top using this yellow lace that has flowers in it. So I was like, oh, well, that's perfect. It still goes with everything. And it is perfect for the summertime. And as you can see, so I don't have a shirt or anything under it. And it's a crochet style lace. So you can see all my business through the top.
Not really. I think it, camouflages it, really
enough.
well.
As long as you ain't too close. Yeah. It camouflages.
It
but
really
it covers enough. It's still tasteful. That's what I wanted. But still, like, just a little something different. And I really like this. So I plan to definitely rock this and maybe make others all throughout the summer.
And we can't wait to see it. Next up, we have Shimere. First of all, let's get into this, okay? Let's get into this shot of Miss Shimere, okay? Because Shimere didn't only give us look, she gave us drama, she gave us storytelling, but I'm going to pull up the actual picture of her look here. Shimere, can you talk about your look, what inspired it, how long you took to make it? Give us this backstory, because your look has a bit of a backstory. So just let the folks know, like, what was involved in creating this gorgeous look on you.
Sure. So actually, I was gonna wear something that I made last summer because it was floral. I was like, I got something already. It's like a little two-piece ruffly skirt. It's cute. So I was like, I'll just wear that. And everybody's like, you gotta make something new. You can't wear something you already made. I was like, all right, fine. So I already had a look in mind. So I'll talk about my process for like finding a look, since most people did that. So walking it back a little bit, I did mention that I've loved fashion for a long time. So I don't know if y'all remember, like back in the day when we used to get like subscriptions for magazines. So I used to subscribe to all the fashion magazines since like high school on to maybe like my early 20s. And I would literally tear out the pages and put them into folders, like sheet protectors and folders.
Yep.
And save the looks. So I've got a little bit more sophisticated now. I have Pinterest, and then I have folders on my Instagram accounts, and then I have folders cataloged in my phone. So
Oh,
that's the first place I go. I go to my folders. So you say, oh, we're doing flowers, whatever. Let me go back through and see what I've liked that has flowers.
okay.
And then I'll even create new folders for flowers or whatever the theme is. And so what I did is I went back and found looks that I liked. And I had a look that I liked. And I told Shishi what that look was. It was a look that Haley Bailey, I don't want to mess up their names. She wore it on a red carpet event. I was like, I want to do that, but do it in a spring look. And then I don't know, I just kind of like fell out with it. I was like, I don't know if I really want to wear that. Like, I can't sit down with that dress on. Like, not that I even sat down, but like, no,
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. So I kept doing some research, and I saw a Dolce & Gabbana look that I really liked, and I put it in my story. It was just basically like a silk blouse, floral, and like some opaque stockings that had the same floral print on it, maybe a headdress. It was basically a monochromatic look, but the same pattern. So I was inspired by that, and I thought, oh, I can take this dress, thank you, and I can find some fabric in one like, I guess, material, and then the same pattern in a different material, and recreate this look. So that's what I did. I found a pattern that I like, a fabric pattern that I like, and purchased it. Did not love the satin, so I had to pivot. I had to pivot. So I had already created this dress in preparation for my birthday. I wanted to go to the opera. Well, not I wanted to. I went to the opera, but I wanted to wear that dress to the opera. By the way, that dress had been on my Pinterest board since like 2012. So it's been on my list to do, and it was like I finally have an opportunity to do it. Did not finish the dress because I only give myself about 2 days to make something, because I am like I tend to be overconfident in my abilities to get things done. And so it didn't get finished. So I decided I would take that dress back out, finish it. What I did was I took the bottom lining, the skirt lining out, and replaced it with the satin. And then I replaced the nude chiffon with the floral chiffon back here or up there. Okay. And so that's how I came to my look. And fun fact, people can't really see the lining, but if the dress ever flew open, you could see that the lining is consistent with the skirt, which is kind of
Let's see if we can see it in this picture. Can we see it a little bit? Not really.
Not really, no. We turned it under
Okay, well that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so let me come back on the screen. I gave y'all enough airtime. Okay, hold on. Let me bring all of us back to the fold. Okay, it's back now. Y'all can see me again. No, that's amazing. So you all gave us very different looks. I do also have like other Frocktails look from you all, but I want to talk a little bit. Shishi, I want to talk about your look because I think Shimere. So how long did you really? Okay, so you took the dress apart from beginning to end. So Julian said he gave himself about almost a month, a little bit less than a month, maybe 3 weeks to do his stuff from beginning to end. Shimere, I want to know how long you actually, from like start to finish, after deconstructing your original idea, how long you gave yourself. And Shishi, we didn't talk about how many muslins you did and how long you gave yourself to create your look. So Julian, 3 weeks, is that a fair assumption? From beginning to end?
About, yeah. I mean, not my only project, but yeah, I took my time in those 3 weeks.
Okay, 3 weeks. Shimere?
I'd say a few hours over the course of about 4 days.
Okay, 4 days. Okay, 4 days. And Shishi, how long did you take to create the masterpiece that ensued at the final? And how far in advance of the event were you all done?
I was actually a week. Like that whole week, I was pretty much done with everything. I was just making sure everything else was like, like my nails on my feet was done, to make sure I had dyed my wig. So all of that was but the actual dress was done that Sunday, I think, before Frocktails, like a week before Frocktails. It took me around 3 weeks, maybe about 2 weeks. It was around 2 or 3 weeks to do it. but it would have only taken me about a week and a half, maybe two, to do it if I had stuck with the first one. But the first one didn't get the lace put on it, so I had to start over. And I'm glad I started over because that's how that one came about.
Yeah. How many hours did you work on it in one sitting, would you say?
Because y'all know I work at nighttime, so from Monday to through Thursday, I work from 9 to 3 in the morning, well, at night to in the mornings, and I got off and I did most of the work at 4 o'clock in the morning when I was on live with everybody else. So maybe from 4 to 6 or 7, I was working. Then I went to sleep, and then I woke up and probably had another 2 hours. So in a day, about 4 hours a day, I was working on it. Except for on Saturday and Sundays, then I had like the whole day to work on it. So probably about.
So it sounds like you worked on it for probably about 60 hours. Would you say 60 hours? Is it fair?
Probably.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. Was I working on it all the time? No. But remember, I was working on two things. Yeah. I wasn't working on one. Well, actually three. The skirt and one shirt and the corset. So I was working on those three things. So I finished the shirt, and then the corset came along. The corset was about a week and a half. The skirt was probably a week. Okay. But I was working on the skirt with the first top.
Yeah.
And that one was by itself. That top was by itself.
Yep. So you have about 60 hours. Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. So full-time job. Got it. Okay. So Shimere, so you said you were working on yours for about 4 days. How many hours do you think you dedicated to it for those 4 days? And how soon in advance of the event were you done your dress? Listen, I'm similar to Shimere, though. I ain't going to even lie. So how many hours a day? And when were you actually done?
I probably spent about 6 hours a day, and I was done about 2 hours before the event started.
Okay, because you're based in Atlanta, so you were able to work up to it on the wire. Okay, so what time did you get to? No, I'm not even going to ask you what time you got to the event. Listen,
I was editing.
You were editing. Okay, y'all. And also make sure you go to Shimere's page. I did link it in the description to check out her editorial that she did based upon Beyonce's daughter. It is lovely, 3-part saga. You know what? I'm gonna link that in the description as well, so you all can watch it later. It is phenomenal. Piece of a work of art, and I enjoyed seeing it as well. So that's why she was late. Anyway, so Julian, how many hours did you spend on it, would you say, over the course of a day, the days you worked on it? How many hours and how much in advance of the event were you done your garment?
I mean, probably about an hour and a half, 2
hours. Okay. So
a day. So I probably put over the 3 pieces, probably about 15 to 18 hours of time. And I was done with the main outfit the Tuesday before. It was already in the bag. I finished the lace shirt on that Wednesday. I was done everything by Wednesday before the event and drove down on Friday.
Yep. And also keep in mind, Julian has muscle memory when it came to his lace outfit. Okay. He's made that 1 trillion times. So he know you could probably make that, the same time rules that apply to him don't apply to us, because that is his pattern. Okay. All right. Perfect. Now, one thing that I didn't ask you guys in advance, but you have spoken about it. Can you tell all of us where Julian did touch on it, but where you sourced each of your pieces or the fabric for your outfits, for your respective outfits? So I'll bring the outfits back up to the screen so you guys can tell us where you got each of them from. I will start with Julian. Let's start here. Where did you get your fabric from? And can you tell everybody like sort of price range, if you don't mind sharing, like how much per yard each of the pieces was?
So the brocade is from Amazon, and that was $30 for 5 yards. So that is around $6 a yard. Okay. The pants fabric is a summer ponte from Joann's. That was $18 a yard on sale. I think it was from $20-something a yard. I think that it was worth it. The lace of the yellow lace, that was $4.50 a yard from Fabric Mart online.
Okay, February. Okay.
So I definitely don't mind shopping online. Last year for New York Frocktails, my fabric came from that gold.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Okay.
So that was a gold Ponte that I had to order from the UK. That was about $25, $26 a yard when you include shipping. And the shirt underneath it, that was a remnant from Joann's in the it was like 70% off section, and it was like an athletic athleisure knit.
Okay. Gorgeous. So it's varied. So you mentioned about 5 different fabric stores. So Julian said he is not afraid to shop online for his fabric. So you mentioned Fabric Mart, you mentioned Amazon, you mentioned Joann. Did I miss anything? UK.
Etsy.
The UK. What is that on Etsy? You found that. Where did you find the UK?
Etsy, yeah.
So Etsy is your friend as well. Look at what would your tip for shopping on Etsy be? Like, look at the reviews. What would you tell people if they are considering Etsy or Amazon?
So I don't mind playing fabric roulette and just being surprised when it comes. But I'm like, I've worked with different fabrics, so I knew that this was going to have a bit of stretch. I knew the pattern that I used for this suit was it was a vintage pattern that you could use a double knit for. So I was going searching for a double knit when making this suit, and that's what I found, and just said we're gonna see what we got. I had another fabric in the wings, and this one did not work. So, but I'm glad this one did.
And that it photographed really well, and in person, it's like I don't think you really get the appreciation. I mean, I love this picture, but in person, you really can get the effect of how plush, and the fabric was gorgeous, and it was perfect for the disco theme. So yeah, you won. You definitely win in the game of Russian roulette when it comes to fabric. Let's moving on to Shimere. Oh well, I got both of your looks. I'm going to bring up both of them, but can you describe where you got your fabrics from for Atlanta Frocktails? So starting with the black and then the sheer moment, the chiffon, I'm guessing that moment. Where did you source your fabrics from?
Yeah, so the black fabric I got from a local shop here in Atlanta or the Atlanta area. It's called Fabric World, and I think I paid $3.99 for it.
Okay.
A yard. It's like some kind of scuba knit. I liked it because although it's a knit, it doesn't stretch, but it kind of has a suiting look to it. So I thought it was great for that. And then the chiffon and the satin that you can't see both came from Spoonflower.
Oh, okay. And listen, we
order a swatch.
Spoonflower, you gonna pay a grip. You gonna pay a grip or whatever.
Yeah.
So what are your tips? Just share your tips. What are your tips for shopping from Spoonflower? What would you tell people when they are shopping? If they're considering fabrics from Spoonflower?
I would say order a swatch.
Order a swatch? Okay. Swatch.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Swatch it first. And how long did it take for you to receive your fabric from Spoonflower?
Not very long, maybe a little over a week.
Okay.
It comes pretty quickly. So if you plan ahead and you want to order online, order a swatch. And I've ordered swatches from European companies as well, from Etsy and stuff. Like Julian said, a lot of them do offer swatches. So order a swatch if you have time.
Okay. Oh yeah, Julian, I saw the question. Yes, please drop your questions. I'm gonna bring that question up in a few though. But yeah, Carrie, definitely Miss Carrie. I'll bring your questions so everybody else, Julian, can address that publicly. But yeah, if you have any questions, I am looking at the comment section and we'll bring it to the bring it forward towards the end of our discussion. But yeah, drop your questions in there. And also I want to talk to Shimere about her Met Gala look that was featured in Sewn magazine. So this is an editorial look. Can you talk about where you sourced this fabric from? This was gorgeous. This was for Atlanta Frocktails last year. Where did you source your fabric from, and how much was it locally, and how much did it cost?
Yeah, this was a local source. It's called Gail K. It's actually right in my neighborhood, and I believe it was about $10 a yard. It's a Ponte knit.
And how much
very inexpensive
for this? This looks like a lot of fabric.
I believe I probably bought about 5 yards.
Okay.
For this, yeah, because it has a train on it.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I don't know if can you pull it up? Can you pull the picture up? I know it is in the magazine. You got a full page spread. Can you really see it? The train?
No, you can't really see it, but it's right here.
You can see it pulling. You can see it pulling.
I tried. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So you are spending between like 50 so far. I'm hearing between 50 and maybe $150 for just the fabric, based upon our discussions. Would you guys agree? I didn't get to Shishi yet, but Julian and Shimere, your stuff is reasonably priced. Would you say?
I mean, beyond New York, I mean, New York was probably that was well over 100, but beyond that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Shishi, for all of this fabric, and we're going to talk about your look from last year as well. Where did you source this fabric from, and what was your budget for this look in particular?
So when it comes to my costumes, whatever, I don't have a budget. There is no such thing as a budget.
You got money. Okay.
I don't have money, but it's just the fact that if I see it and I like it and I can get it at that time, I get it. But it'll probably be the only thing that I get before I can move on to something else if I need like more fabric or a different fabric. But yeah, because you're not going to be satisfied making your stuff, like the outcome of it, if you don't use what you want to use and what you like to use. If you got to like substitute it, you're not going to like it.
Okay. All right. So just tell us where you got the fabric from, child. This sounds expensive.
It is, but it's not. It came from Fine Fabrics. Y'all know how I feel about Fine Fabric. All of that came from Fine Fabric. The lace itself was $14 a yard, and I ended up buying, I think, 6 yards of that. The satin underneath it, the main part component of the corset, that was $4.99 a yard.
Okay.
And I had 6 yards of that, but I ended up having to go back for another 2 yards because remember I made the jacket out of it, and I wanted to make sure I had enough. And I think I still have about a yard left over.
Okay.
And the organza was $2.99 a yard, and I first went and only bought 10 yards, and then had to go back for another 15 yards.
What? How many yards of organza is about?
25 yards. It's 25 yards.
Oh my goodness! So it's only $50. That's not. You said it's $2 a yard, $3 a yard.
Yes.
It's 2 or 3. Which one?
It's $2.99, so $3 a yard.
Okay, so you been that skirt is $75. The price went up. That skirt gonna charge $1,000. We sell that for $1,000. Okay.
So it's only made with 3 fabrics. Well, no, 4 fabrics. I take that back. It's made with 4 fabrics.
Okay,
so
we have the lace, we have organza, we have satin, and what else do we have? I counted 3. What else do we have?
The inner lining on the inside between the layers is made out of this very thick canvas to give it structure, and so I can be able to pull it and squeeze it tight on me. Okay. So yeah, and I ended up buying about 4 yards of that, but I didn't use the whole 4 yards.
Darn, I forgot to pull the picture of the back. Okay, so let's get into your look from last year. We're gonna bring that up really quick, which is gorgeous. You're like, where did you get this picture from? Oh, I got it!
Stole it from my TikTok.
So yeah, this is what you wore last year to the Met. Can you talk a little bit about this? Was the Met theme from last year? How many yards of fabric was this, and what kind of fabric is this?
That is a satin, and I want to say that I got that from, as Julian coined it, Craft Foyer.
Okay.
Which is Hobby Lobby. I got that from Hobby Lobby, and the kimono that went on top, that too came from Hobby Lobby. That kimono, the fabric was on clearance for $2.99, and the fabric, the satin black dress, that was, I think, on sale for $4.99 or $5.99. And I had like 4 yards of the floral print, and for the dress, I think I bought, I want to say 6 yards. It could be a little bit more, but I normally buy around 6 yards when it comes to me making stuff like that.
Okay. So this was under, so this look, so I see you had, what is that, crinoline, or is that tulle under it? What about that? What did you do under there?
That's a petticoat, and that petticoat is old. And when I say it's old, it's like 2016 old.
Okay.
So
this was even though it looks opulent, okay. So listen, the one from this year was a little pricey, but this one cost under $100 to make, and it looks very expensive, right?
And the pattern,
like this?
Yeah, because any little bits that's on it, like I had a rhinestone chain in the back, I had that from another project, and I just took it off of that project and used it on that. Like I use that if I need to bedazzle something, I will normally take that off of that and use it on something else. I don't rebuy more of the rhinestones.
Okay.
So yeah.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. Everyone looks
And
so good. Okay.
the top of that black dress was patterned by me. I draped that. That's not from a pattern. That is my making. So that whole dress is from me draping, and so it's my own pattern, if you want to say.
And we
So yeah.
love to see it. And we listen, the plus size community will really love to see it, because what I'm finding is in my research and also the feedback from the community, what is your advice as a plus size woman on like where people should like what are good pattern companies to use? How do you typically find things that are stylish and within your size? What recommendations could you give to plus size women?
So I really don't do a lot of indie patterns, but there are indie patterns out there. It's just that when the ones that I've seen so far, I really don't like. To me, they look frumpy. And I hate to say that they're either going to be frumpy or they're going to be tight. I like loose fitting garments. I don't like stuff hugging me. So, and a lot of that, even though it's for plus size, they still want to make it super tight on the body. And I don't like, for me, I don't like that. So I like my stuff to be flowy and loose on me. Like I want to sit down and not look like I'm about to bust out of it. So,
yep, understand.
and I am a wovens girl. I like wovens more than I like knits. So I have to have some type of structure in it, and it has to have some room in it for me to be able to expand.
Yep.
So yeah.
So what are if you could give 3 of the top companies, what would you say? Like, you know what, go here, and go here, even if you have to make it, what these are the adjustments that I immediately make when I use these patterns. What are your 3
I mainly stick to the big 5 patterns.
Okay.
Simplicity, McCall's, and Nomi are my main 3 that I go to.
Okay. All right. Now we'll circle it back around for everybody else to answer that question. What about you, Shimere? What patterns are you going to? What are your sort of top 3 pattern companies that you typically pull out when it comes to things like this?
Vogue is probably my number 1. I love Vicky Sews. I think she has very cutting edge fashion patterns. And I guess number 3 would be maybe Simplicity.
Simplicity. Okay. Vogue, Vicky Sews, and Simplicity. Okay. Fair enough. Julian, what about you? What are your top 3 pattern companies that you typically go to when you are trying to formulate a look? Like, where do you start, even if that's not what you end up using?
So normally I start on eBay, so I go vintage.
Okay.
All vintage as much as possible. Then beyond that, there is when I'm really looking for something that is avant-garde, a little bit different. People go to a lot of the Russian sites. I go to the South American Spanish sites. So there's Uno Coser, is a site that I love to use, especially for men's patterns. There are about 800 men's patterns on that site available. They do not sell them in graded sizes. You have to buy your size, but they're usually around $2.99 a yard for a PDF. You can get them printed and sent to you, and it's about $10. It's not that bad. And then like other pattern drafting systems such as Luderlo, which is basically drafted to your measurements of your chest as well as your hip. So, and I have like 9 different sets of that from 1939 to modern. So I can really choose the vintage I want to go with.
Okay, awesome. Thanks again to everybody that is just joining. I see quite a few people are popping on. Again, this will be available for replay. We are talking Frocktails fashion, the inspiration, the process, and the final execution with Julian of Julian Create, Shimere of Shimere So Creative, as well as Shishi of SD Cosplay. So my next question is also, if you have any questions, pop them in as I will ask them after I ask my final questions to the panel. What is your tip for new sewers going to Frocktails? What do you recommend that they make for the event itself, whether or not it's theme based or not? I'll start with Julian.
So the biggest thing is you're coming to have a good time. So make something that you feel comfortable in. We ain't gonna worry about if it's perfect. We want you there.
Yeah.
We don't care. Come in a t-shirt that you done painted and tied up, and we gonna still say yes. Come on. Like, it's about celebrating the creativity that you're having, and having a good time in building community. Don't worry about if it's perfect or anything like that. When we do this, it's a hype up for us. A lot of times I work on my outfits and stuff like that because I know how my social anxiety is. I get excited about what I wear.
Yeah.
And if I'm not, I will make an excuse not to go.
Yeah.
So I spend my time doing that, and that makes me excited to go because I'm excited about what I'm wearing. So if that ain't you, come on. It don't matter. So be comfortable in what you wear. If there is a pattern that I feel comfortable in this, I feel confident in this, find a fancy fabric to make it out of, and just come.
Yep, it's fabric. So. I completely agree. Shimere, what are your tips for new sewers that are interested in attending Frocktails? What do you recommend they make? Any tips and tricks for them?
Sure. Well, I recommend you don't wait till the last minute. And I recommend you just make something that you like. When I first started sewing, I loved making dresses. I made a little bit of everything, but dresses were my thing. Now I make pants all the time. So make what you like. And like Julian said, find a fun fabric and just put it on and wear it. Don't worry about what the veterans are doing. Like for me personally, I try to pick a skill. So this year I said I want to do more evening wear. And so I'm using these bigger like sewing opportunities to push myself to do those things. But do I like spend hours on stuff like this? No, I don't have anywhere to go. I make pants and jackets and crop tops. Okay. So don't worry about what we're doing. Just come and have a good time. We just want to see your beautiful face.
Absolutely, absolutely. Shishi, listen, this is my drill sergeant, y'all. Shishi is keeping me together every day. She's like, what are you doing today to better yourself? Shishi, what is your tip for new sewers that are interested in attending a Frocktails? Any tips for what they should make?
So first of all, what Julian said is basically the gist of newcomers coming into Frocktails. Don't worry about what anybody else is making. Make what's comfortable for you. Don't try to be super ambitious with what you're making, especially if you're new to doing this. And if you do know how to sew, but this is your first Frocktails, make lists, like a lot of lists. Make a list of materials. Make a list of what you need to sew next. Make lists. You need lists to keep yourself on track. And like Shimere says, start early. Please don't make me fuss at y'all. Don't make me have to come after y'all.
Listen, and she will. She's like, I want y'all to get together so that y'all can look the best when y'all get here. All right. So if anybody has any questions from Dark, I messed up. What was the question that was asked? Julian, you responded. I tried to say
Miss Carey asked me if I had if I was kind of reworking any of the garments that I had made to like previous mix to fit my body now. No.
Okay.
No. So the reason is because my main reason for sewing, we all have reasons that we like to sew. My main reason for sewing is the creation process. I don't like to go back and fix nothing.
Fix nothing. No man, no garment, no nothing. Okay.
I will start from scratch and have a good time doing it. It's the process for me. So I rather start the process over with something new and have new ideas and new creativity. So some pieces, like I haven't got rid of them or anything like that. There are pieces that are sentimental to me and stuff like that. Pieces that work for other friends and stuff like that who have admired it, they have gone on to new homes. So
we love it. We love to see it. Let us know if anybody in the comments has any questions because we are nearing the end. We have reached 60. That went by so fast, y'all. Listen, time goes by time flies by when you're having a good time. But if anybody has any other outstanding questions, please drop them in the chat. Okay, let us know. Risha said, "Thanks, Julian. I am stressing so much with finding the perfect pattern." So Risha had some experience under her belt. What are your recommendations, everyone, for people that are feeling super anxious about picking the right pattern for the particular event?
Go with what go make you feel comfortable and happy. Because at the end of the day, yes, you want to find like it's about what's going to make you feel good. So, and really, if there's a pattern that you already like, that you like the bodice of, you like the skirt of, if you want it to be formal, lengthen it. If you want it to be sexy, add a see-through, like cut something out of it. Like there's so many different ways that you can do it. It doesn't have to start from something new. I know that I like to use these events for me to learn new things, to try new things. So like even as we're looking at Chicago, which is coming up, I decided that like last year for New York, I made a suit, but it was out of a knit. This time I'm making another suit. It's out of a woven, so it's more of a traditional suit, and stuff like that. So it's really about you deciding what's going to be important to you. And if you just want to have a good time and shake your ass, just make a dress that you can easily do that in and look good. Whatever's going to make you feel good.
I know that's right. Shimere, well, Shimere, do you have any thoughts to add to that?
I do have some like general thoughts about that. I feel like sometimes we get really wrapped up in our head about Frocktails because of everything we see on social media, and we sometimes feel a sense of competitiveness or whether or not I'm worthy enough or it's going to be good enough or received well. And I think you really have to find the motivation for your look. So what is it about this pattern that doesn't feel good enough? It doesn't feel right enough. Like, figure out why you don't like it or why you're struggling to find that pattern. And it may be that you need to like hack and put some stuff together. But if it's, I really love this dress, but I think everybody else is going to wear it, who cares?
Yeah.
Wear it. You know what I'm saying? Is it, oh, it's too simple, it's not going to be flashy enough? Who cares? If you feel good, wear it. Make it, you know? Yeah. So I think figure out why you feel a way about it, especially if it's something that you think you really love. And just get out of your head about it. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing.
Amen to that. And Shishi, do you have anything to add to that?
They pretty much said it all. I don't have much to add to it. I know what I like. I know what looks good on me. Make what looks good on you. If you know something like a pair of slacks, flowy slacks look good on you, make a pair of slacks.
Yeah.
Look, for Chicago Frocktails, you have 30 years of fashion to choose from. Yeah. Trust me, there's a little bit of something in each of those years somebody can choose from. So research, do your research, find out what fashion. Don't even like look at the blues era. Just look at 1930s fashions, 1960s fashion, and find something in there that you like, and just make that, and or pick and choose from something in there.
On theme, you don't have to go on theme. The Meg happened. Them people wasn't on not a nair thing. You hear me? Not nair. The biggest thing is about coming. Whatever you decide to take from it, you take from it.
And we have another question that came up that this actually came up in our last live. So since we have 4 new panelists up here, I will bring that to their attention as well. Our last live had their own thoughts on this, and I want to ask you all as well. Carrie, great question. Make sure you're following CPB Creates, I believe. I hope I'm not saying that wrong. CPB Creates on Instagram. Tell us about the runway at Frocktails. Does everyone do it? What is it like? So I'm gonna put that to everyone on the stage as well.
It's a chance for if you are comfortable with it, for you to show off your outfit and to get the applause in person that you might see online. It's like people who understand that you made something. You know how when somebody say, "Oh, I really love your outfit," and you say, "I made it. It has pocket," and they look at you like, "Oh."
Yeah.
This is a chance for people to be excited because you made something. You do not have to do it if you don't want to. In New York, you saw people were scared to go by themselves. So there's groups going down together. It really is just like a cheer tunnel that you would see in school. And it's a chance for you to get the accolades and stuff that you want, but you don't have to do it if you don't want to. I'm just a party starter, so I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah, right, listen, Julian got to do his dip, okay? He has this thing, everyone. So Julian's going to do his infamous dip that my knees can't handle no more.
I don't know why. Like, look, it's what we do now. So
listen, we love to see it. Shimere and Shishi, do you guys do the runway? What are your thoughts on the runway? How do you go by yourself? Do you do it at all? Shishi and then Shimere, answer.
Y'all know I'm an introvert. I am not about to walk down that runway. That is not my thing. I stayed in the corner with Brittany and with Keisha, and we all 3 introverts in the corner hiding from everybody and just mingling to ourselves. The first one I did it, and since I tried it, I didn't like it. Y'all will not expect to see me on another red carpet runway ever again. I don't care what I'm wearing. It's not for me.
You see Mike in comment. 6 foot Mike. Yeah, Mike said, Listen, it ain't for everybody. Shimere, did you do it?
I have been habitually late, so I have never done it. But
Okay.
I'm doing it in Chicago.
Okay.
I love the hair flip or whatever. So yeah, I'm doing it.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Well, okay. So, yeah. So, to answer your question,
Oh,
Carrie,
I
you
have a
don't have to
question.
do it. I have done it each time. I've done it by myself. I've done it with a partner. Yeah. So it's really up to you. But if you need some courage, everybody likes a little liquid courage around here, except me apparently. Do it. I feel like either way, whatever decision you make is perfectly fine. But it is totally not necessary. But it's also good if you want a prize, okay? Because that's also a good time for people to see you if they missed you. Because typically what happens is people vote on different categories and you have your chance to win a prize at the end of the night, okay? Julian, are you asking a question? Julian, you on the panel? Julian's on the panel asking questions. How that work? So to answer the question, I guess this is gonna be our last question of the night. How is the Chicago Frocktails look? It's coming. It's up here. Where is it? It's up here. It doesn't fit. So that's why you do a muslin. So I am working on part 2 of my muslin tonight. I have to go up a size. I have to go up a height. I'm using a Vicky Souls pattern, but it's in motion. It's in motion and it's in progress. So how'd your look coming, Julian? Well, I saw how your look is going. So where are we now?
Yeah.
Well, so we on mock up 2 of my jacket, sleeves in, tried it on. We did some edits. So we are now truing up patterns and whatnot so that we can start cutting fabric.
Okay, so muslin is done. Muslin is pretty much done. We're moving on to fabric. Yeah, I'm nowhere near the fabric. Shimere, where are we in the process?
Well, I have a look and I have fabric and I have a pattern to start with. I have been sick all week, so hopefully next week I can start.
Okay, all right. Well, Shishi, tell us about your con. Your con's coming up. So where are you with your process for your con? No, okay.
I am starting in June. I'm giving myself time to rest from Frocktails. So I will be starting in June. I've already got my characters picked out, but I may end up changing it. So I got time until June to actually decide on what I want to do. And I wanted to answer a question that I think it was Michelle Flowers had put in the comments. She asked, was it a formal event? No, it's not. It's just an event where sometimes we will have a theme and sometimes we won't. So you can make whatever you want. So it's not formal. It's not informal. It's whatever you want it to be at that time. If you decide you want to show up there with a ball gown on, show up with a ball gown on. It's your chance to shine with your memades. So it's whatever you want it to be.
It's also an opportunity. It's an opportunity to, like, especially if you've always wanted to make the fancy dress and you've never had a place to wear it to, this is an opportunity. If you want to wear it here, you can.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I appreciate you all for being here. We have reached our time. It seems like one hour and 7 minutes, 8 minutes. That typically is where we kind of cap things out. But I want to thank our panel again, Julian, Shimere, as well as Shishi, for coming on live today and talking to us about their process for creating their Frocktails look. Again, this will be available for replay on the Black Sewing Network YouTube page. This is the second of many panels to come. We hope that this discussion has been very helpful. I have also included the social media handles and accounts for all those on the panels today. So please make sure you go follow them. What's the best platform for people to contact you all on? Would you say Instagram, TikTok? How should people contact you if they're interested in furthering this conversation? Julian, Shimere, and then Shishi.
Probably Instagram, but Julian Creates on all platforms. Okay,
Instagram. Hit them up on Instagram. Shimere.
Instagram. It's EREMIHS spelled backwards _ so creative.
It's linked in the bio. I have a link. Her Instagram is linked, so make sure you go follow her there. Shishi, you've been coming over to the Instagram side. Can people hit you up there? Where do you want them to hit you up?
Instagram is a little less messy in my like it's more organized in the message area as opposed to TikTok. But I'm on TikTok more than I am on Instagram. But I don't check messages at all. So like I check them. I check them real late. I check them, but I just check them real late. So.
Okay. Y'all, if y'all trying to get in touch with Shishi, just contact me first. I'm her secretary. All right. So thanks again, everyone. Can the panel, can you guys stay on? Like, don't hop, like leave just after this. But yes, thank you again for being on tonight's live, everyone. I will keep you guys posted on the next live panel. Thank you again to our guests, and we will talk to you all later. Bye. Okay,
Bye.
let's do my outro. Let's do the outro. Bye, y'all.
Het maakt niet uit hoeveel kilo glipt haar stang. Vies. 2 handen bij de lies. Die spot vind ik sowieso, want ik ben de G. Ik heb geen gevoelens, dus baby doe dit verliefd. Draai dan maar. Draai dan maar. Druk het voor de baas, bitch. Druk het voor de baas, bitch. Draai dan maar.